Hey, have you heard about Isaac Newton? Well, he was a scientist that lived a long time ago, and he came up with the three laws of motion. The first law is the law of inertia, and it basically states that matter wants to resist any change in motion. So, an object in motion will stay in motion at a constant velocity unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. And an object at rest will stay at rest unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. So let me show you guys something. Okay, so let's take this car for example. The law of inertia says that an object at rest will stay at rest unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. Kind of like when you're sleeping in the morning and your mom comes to wake you up, you want to keep sleeping, but the outside force, being your mom, is the one making you wake up, right? So it's the same thing with this car. This car is going to continue to stay at rest unless an outside force is to act upon it. For example, my hand. The law also says that an object in motion will continue to stay at motion at a constant velocity unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. So what if my car was in motion? It would continue to stay at motion, except the unbalanced force of the teddy bear is causing it to stop. So here, our teddy bear was the unbalanced force who made the object in motion stop. The law states that when a constant force acts on a massive body, it causes it to accelerate at a constant rate. What this boils down to is one simple mathematical equation. Force equals mass times acceleration. But what does this mean exactly? Let's take a look. If I have one brick, I can use the force of my hand to accelerate the object. If I use the same amount of force on two bricks, it will only accelerate half as much because we have twice the mass. This means that if I want the same acceleration I had originally, I need twice the force. Ooh, that was hard. And finally, we have Newton's third law of motion. So the third law of motion says that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So if I was to take this balloon and I was to let the air escape from it, the air would push down and then the balloon would go in the opposite direction of the air. So let's try it. So we saw the air was escaping and then the balloon went in the opposite direction. And there you have it, guys, Newton's three laws of motion. Okay, so to recap, the first law states that matter wants to resist any change in motion. The speed or motion of an object will not change unless an outside force acts upon it. Newton's second law of motion states that the acceleration of an object depends on the force acting on it and the mass of the object. There is an equation associated with this law. Force equals mass multiplied by acceleration. And finally, we have Newton's third law of motion, which states that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So what are some of your own examples of Newton's three laws of motion?